Okay, okay. What topic we're gonna do today? So we're gonna do a more of a philosophical kind of topic. Look at the thought process of Black people and how we carry on to perpetuate the we are basically we continue to water and nurture the toxic cultures which the apartheid government and prior oppressors implanted into our communities. We continue to water that, we continue to nurture that. It continues to live within our communities and within our lives. It's actually beginning to be part of our culture, and dare I say it's our DNA. So this episode, I'm just looking to, this vlog is just to record my thoughts around such topics, and you guys can comment on the comments below to further engage on your thoughts. The topic is how the apartheid system implanted poisonous systems that poisoned our cultures. So let's look at the hair, the black man's hair. Now, the black man's hair during the apartheid, the white people really mocked and it insulted our appearance in all type of ways. One of the ways in which they did this was in insulting our hair, the curliness of our hair. They call it all sorts type of names, and in South Africa they called us kafirs because they said our hair was kafir, it was ihlangahlangene ngesiZulu. It was a mess. But the name kafir obviously was not a compliment whatsoever. It was an insult. Its description was to humiliate and was to demean our hair. So now what they ended up doing is that, because of course they wanted to, as part of indoctrinating us to conform to their systems, they strived to instill or enforce what they perceive to be an ideal appearance, and in doing that they forced us to cut our hair because our hair was too much of a mess. So they wanted us to cut our hair, and in order for you to get hired in job, it ended up becoming the prerequisite for you to actually even be considered for a job. You have to have your hair cut. At schools, this was enforced as part of the uniform, part of the culture, the school's uniform for allowing people to study there. And so this norm continued to instill and integrate itself within the main means of development and main means of surviving, which was education system and was the work industry system. And so people ended up, they were forced to basically cut their hair due to wanting to access that of all those opportunities. And then in doing that, and also to avoid violence, because some of them were mocked and emotionally and physically abused for even having that type of hair and not conforming to industry norms. So initially this was forced. Now forcing something on someone and out of fear, and to the majority of people, because now it's fear of physical abuse, fear of emotional abuse, and fear of not having income, it ends up being ingrained in you. It's like that monkey story where the monkey, the monkeys in the cage. If you know the story, there's two monkeys who are taken inside the cage, and they're left there without food. Say they're given little food, so they stay hungry most of the time. It's just given the bare minimum to keep them alive, but they remain hungry. Then in this experiment, they put a lot of bananas in a bucket, and then they put that bucket at the top of the cage. And the only way the monkeys can reach there is by climbing a ladder. So one of the monkeys climbs the ladder. As soon as they see, oh, there's bananas there, they start climbing the ladder. Then just before they can get to the banana, the experimenters then pour cold ice water onto the the monkeys, including the one that's climbing. So eventually, the monkeys figured out that no, they will get hurt every time they try to get there. They're getting hurt. Then, then the experimenters now took the the then the experimenters then took the bucket away, and then the monkeys just remained there, and there was no cold ice bucket. But then the monkeys didn't climb the ladder because of their previous physical abuse that they experienced. The new monkeys came into the cage, and then those new monkeys that came into the cage saw how, hey, my daughter, there's so much bananas up there, let me go get it. So then, as soon as those monkeys tried to climb up the stairs, the monkeys that had been preconditioned due to physical abuse and emotional abuse from their past, then stopped the monkeys that wanted to climb and beat them up. And the monkeys were really confused. Why are these old monkeys stopping them from reaching the bananas? At that point in time, there was no danger at all. The water was taken away. The water that abuses those monkeys was taken away. But because of the previous condition state of those monkeys became now custodians of the poisonous system, which is exactly what then happened with the hair, for example. It ended up being a norm because of previous conditions, and the reasons, the initial reasons of cutting your hair ends up being lost in time, and in it being lost in time, we then find ourselves as a black nation in a situation where people do not grow their hair, and the excuse they use is that it does not look nice on them. But you'll find that most of them, they've never even grown their hair their whole life. So how do you know it doesn't look nice on you? And so they themselves don't even know why they always cut their hair. But the reason is because their fathers and their forefathers were preconditioned to cut their hair, and it ended up being a generational norm. So we must be careful as black person to unlearn these these cultural norms that have been instilled in our society to break us, instilled in society to limit our thinking, and also to eliminate our beautiful culture. We must be careful. We must be able to dissect and expose such cultural ills so that we can heal as a nation. Thank you, guys. Let's comment and let's talk.